Bad people are everywhere. So, where are the good people? Yes, I am opening the curtain directly with this question, because we no longer have the time to hide or shelter behind polite sentences. I didn't make this video for everyone in the world to watch. This call is for that clean minority whose hearts bleed, but who cannot raise their voices while looking at the cruelty of the streets, the sycophants at workplaces, the backstabbers, and global injustice. I am speaking directly to you. Evil is so brazen, so organized, and so loud that every corner is occupied by selfish and self-serving mobs. They have united, working together to turn the world into their own darkness. But what about you? You, the clean person who just wants to live an honest life and never cheats anyone. Where are you? Why are you so silent? Why have you retreated into your shell against their loud insolence? Or do you think you are completely alone in this massive decay? Wake up, you are not alone. There are billions of people all over the world who suffer like you, think like you, face injustice like you, are condemned to loneliness like you, and struggle to survive just like you. From America to Asia, from Europe to Africa, billions of clean souls share the same fate with you. But now, you have to come out of that corner. Are you truly living, or are you just a ghost paying bills until you die? They have trapped us in a massive, beautifully designed aquarium of debt and labor. They built a cage out of paper money and interest rates, and they forced one single thing upon us: living to work. Tell me, do we work to live, or do we live just to work? The monetary system forces you to live only to work. From morning till night, we consume our lives for those pieces of paper. We grieve for money, we fall out with each other for money, and we get betrayed by our closest ones for money. Wake up now, life is not this. The meaning of life cannot be working like a slave from morning till night just to earn money. This is a psychological system of slavery that confiscates your time, your dreams, and your soul. You feel this every morning, don't you? That heavy burden that crushes your chest when you open your eyes to an endless cycle of repetition. That is a silent scream. Your soul is screaming because it knows it was born into this world for something much greater than being just a number in a bank ledger or fighting parasites who sell their souls for money. Modern man is a prisoner in love with his chains, because those chains are decorated with plastic packaging and digital screens. In their eyes, you are not a human being. You are just a battery that powers their global machine of greed. The financial system has collapsed. Leaders are greedy. The institutions meant to protect us have turned into monsters hunting us down. Bad people are everywhere, in banks, in governments, on corporate boards, and behind those media screens. They feed on our labor, they survive by turning us against each other, and they grow rich off of our wars. Take a look at the global economic chessboard. A handful of elites controls more wealth than more than half of the world's population combined. They manipulate currencies, create artificial crises, inflate the prices of the most basic human needs like food and housing, and watch us tear each other apart for the crumbs falling from their tables. What do you see when you look at the world today? We are not just talking about your country. This is a global plague. Look at the stage. America and Israel have united, fighting on one side against Iran, while Iran struggles to survive within this circle. We are not here to blame this country or that country. Our concern is not politics. Our concern is this savage, money-driven system. What happens as a result of these power struggles? Oil crises break out all over the world, energy crises occur, and consequently, inflation skyrockets across the entire planet. But who gets stuck with the bill for these artificial crises? The elites who started the war? No. This bill hits the poor, the innocent, and the good people who have to toil and work every single day. While that greedy minority chasing money and power sits in their palaces, a completely innocent person on the other side of the world becomes unable to bring bread to their home. This is how much harm this money-based system causes to all of humanity and the earth. While you are honestly chasing your bread every day, you are fighting against this corruption organized in every area of life. You go to work, you struggle against incompetent, perverted managers who dig your grave behind your back, try to undermine you, and eye your labor and position. You walk on the street, you live under the shadow of thieves and impudent people approaching from behind, trying to extort your hard-earned sweat. You look at the budgets of states, you see your taxes, which you paid by working day and night, being squandered wasted on unnecessary expenditures and corruption, being stolen and plundered in broad daylight. Even worse, the global justice system is completely paralyzed. Today in England, Italy, Japan, and all around the world, criminals who arrived with uncontrolled migration waves or captured the system are wreaking havoc on the streets. They commit heinous crimes, they take lives, but those corrupt legal systems release them just like that the very next day. And those released murderers go and slaughter another innocent person the day after. I ask you, how many more innocent, how many more good people need to die for this wheel to stop? We are in a massive global madhouse where evils and murderers run rampant, while honest people who merely criticize the system on the internet, seek their rights, or post a single tweet are thrown behind bars. Thought has become a crime, brutality has become a right. Greedy mobs have united, organized to reshape the world in their own dark image. They know exactly what they are doing. They know that a stressed, broke, and fearful human being is the one most prone to submission. You are on the side that constantly loses because of your honesty, whose rights are violated, and who questions themselves, thinking, am I the fool in this era? No, you are not a fool. You are just trying to breathe in a global aquarium that you do not deserve. Let everyone carve this into their minds. Neither evil nor goodness has a religion, a language, a race, or a passport. While people are divided into geographies, nations, and beliefs, and turned into enemies, there is a massive truth we miss. The bad are organized everywhere, but the good are scattered. No one should hide behind a nation or a religion and declare themselves pure as driven snow. Evil knows no bloodline, nobility, title, or borders. Look at the world. Remember that Epstein scandal that emerged from the heart of America. The world's richest businessmen, American billionaires, those so-called aristocrats, ruined the lives of innocent children on their hidden islands. This was an organized fiendishness hiding behind money and global power. Or even more recently, in the Norwegian palace, which they call the most civilized and developed part of Europe, the crown princess's son was convicted and sentenced for violence and raping 2 women. So what does that mean? Living in palaces, holding an American passport, or being a billionaire does not make a person clean. Evil exists in the brutality of a British man in England, it exists in the ruthlessness of a mafia in Japan, it exists in America, and it exists in the East. Evil is everywhere. But look at the other side of the coin. Goodness is not the monopoly of any religion or nation either. Muslims look askance at Christians, and Christians look askance at Muslims, don't they? Everyone thinks their own belief is the most sacred. Here is a reality check that shatters all preconceived notions. A woman in America who found herself searching for meaning, raised in church culture but now a deist or an atheist, conducts a social experiment. She plays a baby crying sound in the background and calls dozens of churches saying, "My baby's formula is gone, my child is starving, I beg you, please help me." Those supposedly charitable, massive Christian institutions turn that desperate mother away, saying, "We don't have a program," or "Come back on Sunday." But when that unbelieving woman calls a mosque, the Muslim official on the other end asks neither about her religion nor her identity. Without entering into any bureaucracy, he says directly, "Which formula do you need? Tell us and we will deliver it immediately." Now, looking at this example, do not think we are praising one faith and vilifying another, because the reverse of that same coin of decay exists in the Muslim world too. Look at those billionaire, oil-rich, so-called Muslim kingdoms of the Middle East. Right next to them, children of their own religion, of their own blood, are being broken by hunger and bombs. Yet those elites living in luxury and magnificence pour their money into Western football clubs, gold-plated palaces, and gambling tables. They turn their backs on their own brothers and sisters. But do you know who goes under those bombs, into the midst of that starvation, risking their lives to save those children? Those conscientious doctors, those volunteer activists coming from the West, from Europe, from America, who might be Christians, who might be atheists, they go. They leave their comfortable lives behind and give their lives for children they have never met. This is exactly what we want to explain. Religion, language, and race are just labels. There is the most corrupt, the most selfish among Muslims, and there is one among Christians too. There is the most heroic, the most conscientious among Christians, and there is one among Muslims too. Don't look far, look at Japan. In the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster, who stepped forward to stop that deadly radiation leak? Hundreds of elderly Japanese engineers and workers between the ages of 60 and 80, saying, "Let the younger generations not receive radiation and get cancer. We have already lived our lives, let us face death." They sacrificed themselves. Now I ask you, are the souls of these selfless Japanese, those Christian doctors in that war zone, and that mosque official who sent baby formula not the same? Their passports and beliefs may be different, but their souls feed from the same clean source. What are we doing? We are suffering in silence in our own small corners of the aquarium, hiding behind walls of belief and race, doubting one another, believing we are completely alone, and committing the greatest betrayal against this world. We must put a stop to this now. Good people must shatter those artificial borders and unite. With our 2050 vision, we are the pioneers of a movement that will strip power and technology away from the war machines of the bad. We want the impartial, non-bribable, corruption-free, ego-shattered, flawless algorithms of technology. An algorithm recognizes neither the nepotism of a prince in Norway nor bows down to the money of Epstein. Our side is clear. Artificial intelligence will be at the service of clean people. Only one missing piece remains. Where are those good people? From behind this mask, I do not look at your nationality, your money, your religion, or your race. I am looking directly at that unextinguished light inside you. The bad are doing their part every single day. They rob people on the streets without hesitation. They harass and kidnap women in broad daylight, ruining their lives with those heinous acts of rape. They abduct vulnerable children and brutally slaughter them for their organs. They drag young minds into the quagmire of drugs, building billion-dollar filthy fortunes over that poison, polluting our streets. They either steal our taxes, which we pay by working day and night, through corruption, or squander them on useless expenditures. Look at the world. We all see the chaos created by uncontrolled migrant waves in England and France, and how they have made the streets unlivable. No matter where you go in the world now, no one can walk around their own neighborhood, their own district, comfortably and without fear. People have become strangers in the streets where they were born and raised. Let alone the outside, we can no longer sleep peacefully even when we go to bed at night in our own homes. There is always an anxiety, always a state of alert within us. Even our homes, our safest sanctuaries, have become prisons to us. They play their dark roles flawlessly and try to condemn us to this aquarium of helplessness. But it's over. Now it's our turn to move. This channel is not an ordinary entertainment page in the garbage dump of the internet, nor is it a cheap political arena. This place is a digital lighthouse lit in the dead center of the dark ocean for all the clean-hearted, oppressed, and wronged people of the world. I am calling out to you. If you still believe in the power of justice, honesty, and true humanity in this world, if your soul has not been completely corrupted by this global depravity, this greed for money, and this brutality, come out of that quiet corner you've been hiding in. Give a voice to this call. Subscribe, say I am here, and write that scream inside you in the comments. Because we were scattered, they were discomfortable, impudent. But now we are waking up, we are uniting. Good people must now come together, become a single front, and radically tear down and rebuild this unjust order of the world. We must understand now, there are only the good and the bad in the world. Countries, religions, and races are nothing but artificial borders invented to turn us against each other. The time has come to leave all these labels aside. We will fight shoulder to shoulder as good people against the bad. We will bring new laws, new formations, and unshakable new rules of justice to this world. We, the good people, will reshape the world. Because we were scattered, they were discomfortable. But now we are awake. When good people unite, the rules of this cruel game will be rewritten from the very roots. Today, world leaders keep telling fake horror stories about how artificial intelligence will destroy humanity. I ask you, is their real concern protecting humanity or keeping the power of technology under their own monopoly? Behind the scenes, they continue to pour billions of dollars into AI-powered unmanned combat vehicles and autonomous weapons. The money spent every year globally on weapons, tanks and missiles is exactly $3 trillion. A mind-boggling fortune spent just to kill people and protect borders. Now imagine, Think about withdrawing this massive $3 trillion budget from weapons and armies and placing it entirely at the service of humanity. Imagine that, with this budget, instead of military robots, we produce autonomous robots that harvest crops in agriculture and famine and take over heavy labor in industry. This is exactly what the Fintech AI 2050 vision is. Our goal is to strip technology of being a deadly weapon in the hands of the bad and transform it into a fair mechanism of production and logistics. If these resources are transferred to agricultural, healthcare, and educational robots managed by artificial intelligence, neither hunger nor misery will remain in the world. Humanity will no longer have to work like slaves from morning till night just to survive and pay bills. Technology will produce on our behalf, and algorithms will distribute resources fairly to all the good people in the world. That is why we are not among those who are asleep while walking. We opened our eyes and saw the illusion. This matrix of theft, corruption, and slavery can only continue to operate if we remain silent, if we shrink back into our corners out of fear. When we come together, when the collective soul of those good people unites with a single, unshakable conviction, this artificial aquarium will shatter into pieces in seconds like a palace made of glass. This mask I wear is not to hide my face. It exists to represent your face, his face, her face, and the faces of all the wronged, honest people in the world. There are no individual egos here. Here, there is only freedom, truth, and the will to leave our children a future where justice reigns, not criminals. Bad people are everywhere. They have built their own dark world. Now I ask again. I scream out to the entire world. Bad people are everywhere. Where are the good? If you are out there, if you hear our voice, stand up for the memory of those innocents and for our future. Welcome to the awakening. Fintech AI 2050 begins with you.